Once there was a miller who was poor, but had a beautiful daughter. Now it happened. He had to go speak to the king. In order to make himself appear important, he said to the king, "I have a daughter who can spin straw into gold."
That is an art which pleases me well. If your daughter is as clever as you say, bring her tomorrow to my place and I will put her to the test.
And when the girl was brought to the king, he took her into a room, which was quite full of straw, and gave her a spinning wheel and a reel and said,
Now set to work, and if by tomorrow morning early you have not spun this straw into gold during the night, you must die. Thereupon the king himself walked up the room and left the young girl in it alone. So there sat the poor miller's daughter, and for the life of her she could not tell what to do. She had no idea how straw could be spun into gold, and she grew more and more frightened, until at last she began to weep. But all at once the door opened, and in came a little man who said,
"Good evening, Mistress Miller. Why are you crying so?"
"Alice,"
answered the girl,
"I have to spin straw into gold, and I don't know how to do it."
"What will you give me if I do it for you?"
asked the little old man. "My necklace,"
said the girl. The little man took the necklace, seated himself in front of the wheel, and veer. 3 turns and the reel was full. Then put another on and veer 3 times round, and the second was full too. And so it went on until the morning, when all the straw was spun and all the reels were full of gold.
By daybreak, the king was already there, and when he saw the gold, he was really astonished and delighted. But his heart became only more greedy. He had the miller's daughter taken into another room full of straw, which was much larger, and commanded her to spin that also. And one night, if she vowed her life, the girl knew not how to help herself, and was crying. When the door opened again and the little old man appeared, he said, "What will you give me if I spin the straw into gold for you?"
"The ring on my finger," answered the girl. The little man took the ring and began to turn the wheel, and by morning had spun all the straw into glittering gold. The king rejoiced beyond measure at the sight, but still had not gold enough, and he had the miller's daughter taken into a larger room full of straw, and said,
You must spin this too into the course of the night, but if you succeed, you shall be my wife. Even if she be a miller's daughter, thought the king, I could not find a richer wife in the whole world.
When the girl was alone, the little man came in again for the 3rd time and said, "What will you give me if I spin the straw into gold for you this time also?"
"I have nothing left to give you," answered the girl.
"Then promise me, if you shall become queen, give me your firstborn child."
"Who knows whether that will happen?"
thought the miller's daughter, and not knowing how else to help herself in this terrible situation, she promised the little man what he wanted, and for that he once more spun the straw into gold. And when the king came in,
A year after, she brought a beautiful child into the world, and she never gave the thought to the little man. But suddenly, one day, he appeared in her room and said, "Now give me what you promised."
The queen has honor struck, and offered the odd little old man all riches of the kingdom, if he would leave her child alone. But the little old man said,
"No, something alive is dearer to me than all of the treasures in the world."
Then the queen began to lament and cry, so that little old man pitied her.
"I will give you 3 days' time,
said he,
and if by then you have not found out my name, then you shall keep your child." So the queen thought the whole night of all the names that she had ever heard. and she sent a messenger over to the country to inquire far and wide for any other names there might be. When the little man came to the next day, she began with Casper, Melchior, Balzer, and Zeus, and said all the names she knew, one after another. But every one the odd little man said, "That's not my name."
On the second day, she had inquiries made by the neighborhood to set names of the people there, and she repeated to the little old man the most uncommon and curious. "Perhaps your name is Sortus, Sheepscase, Laceleg, or Bandy Bottom?"
But he always answered,
"That's not my name." On the third day, the messenger came back again and said,
"I have not been able to find a single new name, but as I came to a high mountain at the end of the forest where the fox and the hare bid each other good night, there I saw a little house, and before the house fire was burning, and round about the firelight a ridiculous little man was jumping. He hopped up upon one leg and shouted,
'Today I bake, tomorrow I brew, the next I'll have the young queen's child. Ha! Glad I am that no one knew that Rumpelstiltskin I am styled.'"
You may imagine how glad the king was she heard the name. And when soon afterwards the little old man came in and asked,
"Now, mistress, queen, what is my name?"
At first she said, "Is your name Conrad?"
"No," he replied gruffly.
"Is your name Harry?"
"No."
"Perhaps your name is Rumpelstiltskin?"
"The devil has told you that. The devil has told you that,"
cried the little old man, and in his anger he plunged the right foot down so deep into the earth that his whole leg went in, and that put him in such a rage that he had stomped so hard and went into the earth, into which he fell and was never seen again.
The end.
The end.
and